wide-ranging. This is the homepage for the part for citizens, for normal, regular individuals like you and I. And what we tried to do was cover all the topics that affect them in their daily lives and where the EU has a role to play in giving them rights and helping them. So we, instead of presenting, Directive 2468 and what it says, we decided that we would start from the basis of what people want to do, which is to travel, to work, to take their car different places, to move to different countries, to go shopping, to see what rights they can have for their family as they move across the EU, what health rights they have, and what the EU can do for them in the field of education. So everything in one package. We also have a part for businesses, if we can see that, which is also designed with the same idea in mind, which is the life cycle of a business. And again, we were, rather than starting from the basis of what legislation we have produced, we start from the basis of what businesses want to do. If we could have a sample page, maybe in the shopping section, shopping abroad, VAT, why not? Yeah. So this is the sample page. This is what all the pages on the website look like. They have the same basic features, all of them. The first feature I'd like to discuss is that they are really user-focused. We wrote this for real people and not for bureaucrats. So as you can see, the text is short. We use simple terms, simple languages, which is the language that people use to think about their life, and is crucially the language they use to input into search engines when they're looking for information and trying to solve a problem. And each page concerns practical tips. You'll see there's little orange warning signs, and we use those on every page to tell people where they have a right that they might not be aware of, or where there is a known problem in the application of EU rights. But we don't present it in these terms. We say, if a national museum charges you more than a local to visit the museum, that is against the law, and you can get help here. And you give them the link to a service that can help them. So we really try to stay practical. And because we know that people aren't going to be looking for information out of general curiosity about the EU, but they'll be looking about information when they have a real question or a real problem, we based our text on the problems, on the practicalities, the problems they might encounter and practicalities that they need to know to use the rights better. So we also have put the user at the center. We always have a sample story. You see the little box called "This Could Be You," where we describe a problem that happened to a real person. It's been anonymized, but these are real things that happen to real people. And we explain what a common problem is and what the solution is under EU law, so that once again you give them the practical tools to use their rights, to solve their problems. And we also have FAQs on every page. We have one sample question, and clicking on it will give you access to a full list of common questions in that topic. Right. If you could scroll to the bottom of the page, please. Right. So what these pages also do, other than providing information and practical help, is that they are a gateway to people who can help, who can provide assistance. So we have a box called "Still Need Help" at the bottom. It's also found again at the top for people who haven't scrolled down. They have the little emergency symbol. So what we have done is, for each page, decide what services are out there that can help people. There's a vast number of them, and they are little known and underused. You might know some of them. You might know the Solvit, you might know the European Consumer Centres, you might know the Citizen Signpost Service. These are not widely known, and that's okay. We can't do publicity campaigns in 23 languages for 25 different services. It would be impossible and too costly, but what we do want to do is to help people to find the services when they need them. So we're assuming that somebody who has a problem and needs help from one of these services has put in a search term in Google, found this page, gotten information they need, practical tips, and if they're like, aha, I really need more help, my rights are being infringed, We offer them to get fast and free legal advice, if that's what they want. We offer them the possibility to solve problems with a public authority, if that's what they need. Or we offer them the possibility to get help from their local European Consumer Centre. The menu of services that are offered on every page is different every time, depending on what the topic is. Here we're talking about shopping and VAT questions, so these are the services we knew would be able to provide help. For the page on opening a bank account, we will give them access to Finnet, which is a network which is there to solve problems in financial services. Another thing we do in every page is to listen to user feedback, because this is new. We've just launched it now, and we know that there's surely things that we can do better. So we ask for feedback. Here we ask if the information is useful. You can go ahead and click on that. And then people tell us whether, yes, it was useful, or what we especially want to know, no, they had a problem that was not solved by the information on the page. And that will permit us to improve the information we put online. This box, by the way, is something that I want you to be very aware of as Europe Direct centres, because we would like you to use it as well, to tell us if you have a person who came to your website, to your centre with a question, and you said, there's this great new website, Your Europe, that'll give you information and access to help, and they didn't get the information and the help they needed. We want to know. So if you could tell us, just type in that little feedback box and say, well, we had a customer who just came in, and he had this and this and this problem, which was not solvable by the information here. Tell us, and we'll improve the page. We've already asked the Europe Direct call centres to do that, and they have been doing it, and for us it's really invaluable, because you are our eyes and ears. You have real face-to-face contact with people, and so you are best placed to tell us what these people need, and therefore what we need to provide for them on this website. We also have a little survey question on every page, and these serve two functions. One of them is to inform us, the Commission, where there are blockages in the single market, where there are still obstacles that might need to be corrected. And the second function is to, once again, send people to the help services, the ones that still need help box. So depending on whether it's an area where there is a clear EU right or where there's not yet a clear EU right, we'll either invite the user to give us more information, or tell them, well, from what you've answered on the survey question, your rights have been infringed, so click here to get help to solve your problem. Once again, bringing them back to the services that you can see here in the Still Need Help box. If you can go ahead and try and see if it works. So this page was an area where we want to know more about what obstacles exist. And on other pages where there's clear EU rights infringements, we send them to the assistance services. Right. A fourth thing we do on this website is not simply to present information and practical advice on what EU rights are, but also to provide information and practical advice on how you go about using your rights in your national context. So for some pages, not yet all, Cecile, could we go to the health section? And unforeseen treatment, the page on expenses and reimbursement, for example? Right, so scroll down a little bit. Right, and open the, useful national information. So, our aim is that on every page, once we've presented EU rights with tips and warnings and practical advice, we also give access, where it exists, to information on the application of these rights at the national level. Where they don't exist, we are working with a network of 30 representatives, one from each of the EU countries and EFTA, to create fact sheets on, for example, how to convert your driving license if you've moved from one European country to another and need to go through the administrative procedures to get your driving license. could convert it to recognized, because that's what's required in that country. And